welcome everybody this morning to this important occasion, which is the official opening of the dog park that's associated with the Thomas Butler Bypass Road and Park. This is step number one, the opening of the dog park, which has been a very high priority for a lot of the elected officials, who you'll hear from in a couple minutes, and also a very high priority for the neighborhood. So we're very happy that we were able to work with the T and with the city to make the dog park a reality. We recognize that the dog park has many benefits, not only to dog owners and to their dogs, but also people who live in the neighborhood and people who want to use the park across the street, and we can really consolidate activity in this location. I do want to recognize a number of people who are here, and then we do have a short speaking program, and then we'll go over and do the ribbon cutting where the blue ribbon is, where we have a large number of dogs who are part of the ribbon cutting. So each person who speaks gets to hold the leash of a dog. We didn't put that in the briefing memo, I don't know. Anyway. I want to recognize Councilor Anissa Asibi George, who's here from the City Council. I want to recognize Ellen Butler, who's here. We have her, where to go? There he is. There's her official dog for today. Brewski is the official dog of today's event, so we appreciate it being there. We have Thomas Butler Jr., who's here someplace. Yeah, I'm not capable of having as many jokes as not even, we're going to count on. Bill Spain from the Castle Island Association, Joanne McDevitt from the City Point Neighborhood Association. We thank Lucky Devlin for her work on this project, Maureen Dayhill from South Boston Today, the South Boston Buffer Committee, and finally from South Boston, we particular thanks to Ambassador Ray Flynn, who's with us today. And he'll be joining us when we take the picture. And then I just want to recognize a couple of people who made this possible on the construction end. So Sam Slyman, many of you know, who's the head of capital programs at Massport. This was a project that he undertook. Representing the Maritime Division of Massport is Joe Lawless, who many of you know, and also I want to thank the T, Mark Boyle and David Carney for their contributions, because obviously this was a very significant project from their point of view. Their facility is right behind us. So I want to start off by recognizing the mayor. I just want to say that, you know, this project required a lot of cooperation. You know, the mayor was a partner in this all the way through, and one of the benefits that is going to result as a result of this whole project is the fact that in the old days there were about 65 parking spaces along here, and as a result of all the cooperation, there will now be 95 parking spaces down in that direction. So that's a big addition. We know how important that is in the neighborhood, and that would not have happened without Mayor Walsh's leadership. So we appreciate his cooperation both here and also his leadership on making the parking possible. So I think we all recognize what a great friend and ally the mayor is, both to the neighborhood of South Boston, to the maritime industry, and so let me turn it over to Mayor Walsh.
Thank you very much, Tom. And I want to first of all thank Tom Glenn and Massport, who really listened to the elected officials, listened to the community about the importance of having a dog park right here in this great park. I actually, on the way down, I was actually thinking to myself, laughing, how far south he has actually come. If we tried to do a dog park 10 years ago, can you imagine? Or if Ray Flynn, when he was the mayor, said we're going to put a dog park, they would have admitted you into the hospital and say something's wrong with him. But times have changed, and it's really incredible, because there's so many great residents of this community and all communities in the city of Boston who love their dogs and love their animals and are incredible people. I often say, when I was a state representative, you would see in different neighborhoods where the folks that would walk their dogs in different neighborhoods, you would see them become the unofficial crime watch group of the neighborhood. You would see the eyes and ears out there in the community. And I had a longtime friend, Richie Pacitti, who used to walk his dogs, and we came to find out that as a politician, and don't take offense to this dog walkers, you're your own little community, and you have to tie into that community for votes too, so it's important. But no, it is great to be here today. I want to congratulate all the elected officials. I'm not going to stop mentioning everyone again because we'll be here all day, but you know, Tommy Butler Memorial Park and Tommy's family's here. And what this park stands for in so many different ways. You've already heard Tom Glenn talk about what's happening here. With the road behind us, with the additional parking spaces, which solves a problem in the community, with an opportunity to really truly have a state-of-the-art dog park, so the dog walkers and our dogs have a place to go. And we also have M Street across the street, which we're going to be making some renovations to. It's great to see all of that happen in this community, and it wouldn't happen if you didn't have everyone working together on the same page, collaborating, and that's really what this is all about. It's a collaboration, and the person that this park is named after, I think everyone here knows it, but Tommy Butler was a bridge builder, and he still is a bridge builder. And I was thinking about him as I was reading my notes coming here today, thinking about all of the things, of the benefits of what this park does and what it's done and what Tommy still continues to do. His legacy still lives on. And I want to thank all of the Butler family in particular. I want to thank the community groups. I'm not going to talk too much because the dogs are getting anxious. They want to cut the ribbon. And I'm going to turn this microphone back to Tom Glenn. So thank you very much.
So there were a lot of people who thought this was a great idea, but I have to say the first person who mentioned this idea to me was Congressman Stephen Lynch. So I'm sure there were other discussions that were taking place along those lines, but he really was the person who was the initial instigator. So it's great that he's able to be with us today and say a few words about this facility, Tommy Butler, and what it means going forward. So without further ado, Congressman Stephen Lynch.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It being a couple of weeks away from Election Day, I just want to also reach out to all the cat people out there. And we will demand equal rights for cats after this gets done. Actually, there's a guest who hasn't been recognized, Peter Galemi, who's over here. Wave, Peter. Peter and I did this before. This is our second dog park in South Boston. So the MWRA was the sponsoring entity in that one, and it's a similar situation. What drove this, the need for this, is that up at Medal of Honor Park, which is named after our veterans who have earned the highest award of this nation, that Medal of Honor Park also hosts the Vietnam Memorial, and there was some tension between our dogs and the veterans and the kids and all that, and we just said, you know what, we need some more green space here. So we went to Tom Glenn. I want to give great credit to Massport and the MBTA. One of the great things about today in the state of Massachusetts is the collaboration between the federal government, the delegation, Governor Baker, who's obviously has tremendous influence with Massport and the MBTA, Mayor Walsh, who's without question the greatest mayor in America today, the City Council, State Representative Collins, Senator Dorsina Forey, Councilor Isabi and Flaherty and Councilor Linehan. It really is a real collaboration. We actually like each other. We work with each other, and this is proof. This is proof positive of that happening. So the only thing I regret is when I left the house this morning, I could have brought Nala, my dog, Nala the Wonder Dog, and she'd probably be doing her business down here instead of up on my rug, up on G Street. But that's an opportunity missed. What can I say? But thank you all for being here. I want to thank the Butler family, because Tom Butler would be laughing his head off if he thought that his dog Brewski was the guest of honor today at this ribbon cutting. So, it's a great day. It's a great day. What can I say? Thank you for being here.
So next we're going to hear from Representative Collins.
Go ahead, Rep Collins.
So, yeah, okay. From Representative Collins, who has been keeping track of this on a weekly basis since we first agreed that we should try to make this happen. So we appreciate his persistence and his cooperation in bringing it to fruition. So I'll have Representative Collins step to the mic and then we'll introduce the senator.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the mayor for being here, and for the congressman. Something that's really special about the congressman who travels around the world on our behalf to keep an eye on our veterans and our servicemen and women and fighting for us down in Washington. He never forgets about what's important back home, and stuff like this that I'm sure many people who work in Congress don't quite think about. Congressman gets and you know he keeps in mind while he does some big things. So we want to thank you for never forgetting about your hometown. And to Tom Glenn and Massport for working with the community on this project and others in the legacy of Tom Butler. And I want to thank the Butler family for giving us their name to put to this project. And in many ways, Tommy was a buffer between South Boston and Massport, and made that relationship work. And you know, we think it's fitting that that this is the first unveiling, but we're really proud about what's being done here. I'll say lastly, Tom pointed out the work that we all had to put into this. Sometimes the mundane can be the biggest trouble, especially when it comes to the legislature. I think there was like a land conveyance that took like 6 months. And working with Senator Forey, my partner in crime in the Mass Legislature, we were able to get that done. And you know, some of the more controversial items seem to get done faster. But working with good partners, we got this done. So I want to thank the senator as well, and thank you all for being here this morning.
So as Representative Collins said, a key partner in this was Senator Linda Dorsina Forey, who's helped us on many projects, and this is just another example. So let me, without further ado, turn it over to her.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everyone, and it's great to be here with all of you. What an exciting time. I want to thank Tom Glenn and his hardworking staff at Massport for making this a reality and ensuring that this organization truly partners with the residents of South Boston and continues to do so. I want to thank the community residents who did so much. Bill Splain of Castle Island Association, who stayed committed to this project. Joanne McDevitt, representing City Point. Good friend Lucky Devlin. Maureen Dahill, caught in Southie PD Galemi, who has been a tireless advocate for our four-legged friends. And so it's going to be exciting as we try to cut the ribbon, right, with the dogs today. But this is a great day to celebrate this incredible community we call South Boston. And after the name of an amazing person, and I'm happy Helen is here because you shared Tommy with us, right? And all of us talked about that, but he was incredible in terms of the work that he did at Massport, but his love for this community. And I know he's looking down as Congressman Lindsay and said, what is going on here? But let me tell you, he is holding Massport accountable. They cannot walk away from this community. You know, Tommy is holding it down. But this is incredible because this is going to be a safe space for South Boston dog owners to enjoy quality time with their pets. I'm letting you all know Dorchester pet owners may come down too, right? And that's okay. But the investments made here along East 1st Street by Massport, combined with the City of Boston, Mayor Walsh, thank you for your investment and your commitment here at 1st Street, but also the Medal of Honor Park above on M Street, provide both 2- and 4-legged residents with an array of receptional recreational options. I gotta tell you, we have an incredible delegation. You know this, starting with our leader, Congressman Stephen Lynch, who has done so much, born and raised here, but continues to work with us as a delegation and is paying attention, as Rep. Collins said, right, as what's going on right here in the community. I want to thank Representative Collins as a partner in the legislature as we continue to fight for resources for South Boston and all the communities we represent, but here in particular working with Massport and all the state agencies, MBTA included, which we're working on that too in terms of traffic and transportation. I want to thank our city councilors at large, Michael Flaherty, who is from Southie, for his great works. Councilor at large, Anissa Asabi George, thank you for your leadership. Our city councilor, Bill Lenahan, thank you for your work. as we continue to sit down and talk about the future of Southie and making sure that the residents who are here are not displaced and really working to build and create this thriving community. So again, we're grateful. I want to thank you, Helen. I want to thank Tommy Jr. and Jillian. Thank you all really for giving us Tommy. And it's so exciting that this park is going to be named after a wonderful person who gave so much, not just to the state, not just to South Boston, but to this incredible city of ours. Thank you.
So Councilor Michael Flaherty has been a key ally along the way and was, again, one of the key people in helping to bring this project to fruition. So we asked Councilor Flaherty if he'd be willing to say a few words. Councilor.
Thank you, Tom. This is dog parks obviously is an issue that we hear about across the city. It's a growing constituency, as our mayor and congressman had alluded to. I grew up playing Little League across the street and then later the men's softball league. And I can attest to folks that are here that played in either of those leagues would know that our games would be interrupted on a regular basis because a dog or dogs would make their way onto the field right during the middle of the game, and then a kid would run out to try to chase the dog, and then it would just become a circus out there. So, but then growing up, knowing that this corridor, we were walled off. We were walled off from a molasses factory. We were walled off from an incinerator. We were walled off from oil tanks. And to see that the partnership that exists with the community, the local electeds, and also Massport under leadership of Tom Glenn, that we now have obviously a beautiful dog park, state of the art, but we also have the Thomas Butler Park. We have additional parking spaces to relieve the parking crunch in the community, and there'll be the Hall Road or the bypass corridor, which will get the chassis and the trucks and the 18-wheelers off of the neighborhood streets and put in behind us. So all a direct result of a commitment and a creative partnership among the lifelong residents, the new residents, the electeds, and Massport. And that would not be possible without the efforts of many, Nancy Donahue, Anthony Guerrero, Jose Masso, Ellie Casper Flaherty, Liz Becker, Mike Pillardo, Audrey Nagel, and also Jim Doolin, who are all part of Tom Glenn's team that we deal with on a regular basis. And so I want to thank them for their time and efforts working with the congressman, working with the mayor's office, working with the South Boston delegation, and my at-large colleague here as well, Anissa Rasabi George, to celebrate in a great opportunity. And I probably should share the story. This is the second dog park that Massport has unveiled. The other one was in another part of my district over in East Boston. And there's a reason why I think Tom Glenn put the dogs over there, is during the last dedication, as there was a speaking program was going on, dogs were coming up and they were peeing on the dais here as the speeches were going on. True story. So I see that they've been located over there safely away from the TV cameras. But also want to give a shout out to the Massport Police, who do a great job protecting the Massport properties, and I know that they'll be keeping an eye here, making sure that that it's safe for folks to bring their dog down, but also that we continue to get along with not only the residents, but also with the Port Authority. So without further ado, this is a great morning, and looking forward to the ribbon cutting. Thank you all.
So we have two more quick speakers. I just have to say, I don't remember that at all.
Mike doesn't make anything up.
Yeah. Councilor Linehan is another important ally and someone who works tirelessly on behalf of this neighborhood, and he too was very involved and critical to bringing this to fruition. So we want to give him a chance to say a few words as well. Councilor Linehan.
Thank you, Tom Glenn, and thanks to all the folks at Massport for all the work that you do on behalf of the South Boston community. Very important part of this community is all of that work that gets done down on the waterfront. And I'd like to thank what you're going to see here now, this truck as it goes by, well, in just a short period of time, that won't happen anymore. It will happen back here. And all of this here will be in a green space all the way down. So it's ironic that we're opening the dog park first, but the rest of the park will be open. The trucks will be gone. The city's investing $3 million on the park across the street, and more $1 million on repaving the roadway and the sidewalks. So this corridor is just going to be transformative, and it's because of all the work that's been done over 25 years. Our predecessors that were there, Congressman Lynch, he held 3 positions. state rep, state senator, and congressman while all of this was going on. And those that came before me, my predecessor, Jimmy Kelly, Jackie Hart, and Brian Walsh. It goes on and on and on. This is the beginning of the unveiling of so much work, so much investment in our community. So I want to thank all of my colleagues here, all of those who came before us, the longshoremen that always supported us whenever we need to get something done in our community. And I'm glad that we're here today. And I'm going to stop talking before one of them dogs get loose and comes over this way. All right, thank you very much.
So finally, Congressman Lind mentioned that Peter Galemi was key many years ago in creating the notion that this was something that should be part of the city's portfolio of facilities that are available to its residents. So we asked Peter if he would say a few words, and as soon as we're done, we'll go over for the official ribbon cut. So Peter.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's truly an honor to be part of this distinguished speakers panel here, and I'll be very quick. And I really can't take too much credit for the idea of a dog park. It was something that was discussed endlessly at our Dorchester Heights Association meetings back in the days, the good old days when I was president there. It was a source of constant debate, argument, discussion, tension among the neighborhood residents and the dog owners and the non-dog owners. And what was happening was the Dorchester Heights National Park was a very attractive open space, and it was being used by the dog owners, as they had no other space, to let their dogs run off leash. And that was actually prohibited by the National Park Service, and it caused great tension among the neighborhood residents who wanted their kids to be able to use the park. They felt often threatened by the dogs running around. And so we discussed it endlessly at our meetings, and we couldn't do much about it. We had plenty of ideas, but as with this park, we couldn't do much about it until Congressman Lynch made a little phone call. And I'll never forget the day I was just trying to step down as president and get a little less involved in things, and I got that call saying, I think we've got a spot for a dog park, and would you help us out with it? And I was more than delighted to do that, and it was one of the happiest events for our neighborhood. I want to say that it took a lot of pressure off the existing open space elsewhere in South Boston, because finally our four-legged friends and their two-legged pets had a place to meet, greet, and unleash, as we say at the park meetings. We set up a nonprofit corporation to run it. That site down there is operated strictly by volunteers and by volunteer contributions. It's been a great success and real enhancement to the neighborhood. And I just want to mention, back then, Congressman Lynch put together quite a formidable team. He had Senator Hart, Representative Wallace, Councilor Linehan, and Councilor Flaherty as part of it, and MWRA was very generous in contributing to that. And I see that tradition is repeated here with Massport. We're very grateful to Massport for making, this is a very substantial contribution to the committee, and I know, to the community, and I know Tommy Butler is proud of it. I know the neighborhood associations are thrilled about this. I've worked with all of them over many years, and they've been clamoring for years for more and dedicated open space, and this is part of meeting that need. And I see my friend here, Nick Collins, who I knew when he was a kid, and an assistant to Senator Hart, and I'd say he learned at the feet of one of the best, and he's become a great state rep. And very quickly, one thing I just want to point out, that as a neighborhood association leader back in the day, I always felt like I had the ear of our elected officials. I heard constantly from Congressman Lynch's office, from Nick Zafarakis and Danny Lynch, if there's anything you need, you get in touch with us, and how are things going? And whenever we needed him, he would show up at our meetings. Representative Wallace, Senator Hart were constantly had a presence in our meeting, as did Councilor Linehan. And it's a great part of being part of the South Boston community that our elected officials work together in such a team and do very much care about what goes on here, from the smallest local event to the great national events of our time. So I won't keep you any longer, but thank you very much, and thanks to Massport for making this space possible.
Peter. So now we're going to ask the elected officials and speakers, Ambassador Flynn, to go over, and we should alternate elected official and then dog, elected official and then dog.
Follow ahead.